everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Kela Trishaan and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. So if those are some things that interest you, please click on the subscribe button below and make sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. So today's video is going to be about C-sections. I just did a previous video on ways to recover from a C-section. This video is going to be about items that you should bring to the hospital for your C-section. I wanted to do my own video dedicated to this because when I was pregnant, I did not know what to do. I wasn't sure what to bring. I had never stayed in the hospital for longer than a couple of hours. And just with the fact that I was having a major surgery, I wanted to make sure that I was as prepared as possible for the time I was going to be there. Now, each hospital is different. You can expect to be at the hospital for anywhere between 2 to 4 days. My hospital only had me there for 2 days. So I just wanted to make sure that I brought items that were comfortable for me for the time I was there so I could feel as normal as possible. So I found a lot of information and I bought a lot of stuff. And what I can say is that a lot of things I ended up not using, but I put together a list of 7 different items that I think are key to get you through those couple of days. So the first item that I want to discuss, this is actually going to be what you want to pack last, but it's going to be your insurance documents and copay. A lot of hospitals now have apps, so if you don't have it in paper form, as long as you have the app, you're able to pull up your membership card or whatever information you need to just show the hospital so they can check you in and get you going. But if you do still have an insurance card in paper form, you want to make sure that you pack that. The reason why I say pack it last is because obviously you would need it throughout your pregnancy for your prenatal visits. So just set a reminder so you can make sure that you have that. The last thing that you want is to get to the hospital and you're missing something as important as that, especially depending on how far the hospital is from you. You don't want to put your spouse or whoever's coming with you in a position where they have to go back to pick up that, document, and then you're just, kind of hanging. With that being said, also make sure that you have your copay if you are responsible for one. You can have that in cash or credit card form, but you just want to make sure that you have these things ready to go and available so there are no hiccups when you get to the hospital. The second item that I want to discuss is the type of clothing that you should wear. A C-section is major surgery, so you need to be mindful of that. They are going to cut you right below your bikini line. It's an area that I don't think you typically think about throughout the day, and so you're not really aware of anything like touching you there. The reason why I say that is because like certain underwear may irritate you, certain like pants may irritate you, and you want to make sure that you're wearing things that won't irritate your incision because it's going to be sore. You want to wear something that's not going to like glaze over it. So that will glaze over it. So what I would recommend is if you get like a long gown, even like if you're wearing pants, if you wear like loose elastic sweats or even shorts or whatever, just make sure that it's not sitting on that incision and causing irritation. Oh, make sure also with that you have a going home outfit because you're going to be getting in and out of the car. So you want to make sure that like whatever you have, like sit down in it, I would say, just to see like how it sits and make sure that that's something that, that you'll be comfortable with kind of moving around. The third item I'm going to talk about kind of goes along with the clothing, but you want to make sure that you pack easy footwear. Preferably something that you can just step into or slide on without having to do any work. You're gonna be sore, so you don't wanna be put in a position where you have to bend over too much or where you have to do too much like moving around to get your shoes on. When I went to the hospital, all I brought with me was a pair of flip-flops that I wore to the hospital, and I was able to walk around in them, and when it was time to go home, I was able to just slip those on. So I would recommend something like that, or even if you have, like I know some people like clogs, you could bring that, or some tennis shoes that you could just step into, something that is simple, so you don't have to do a lot of like movement to get yourself in them. And with that being said, I would also suggest to bring those socks that have the rubber at the bottom so you can kind of keep your balance. A lot of times the hospitals are they're cold. So I found it more comfortable at night. I don't normally sleep with socks on, but the hospital was especially cold. And so those little socks kind of just kept my feet cool, or kept my feet warm, should I say. And then when I had to walk around, if I was walking around in those socks, I didn't run the risk of falling. That's the last thing you want after you just had a surgery. So yeah, consider those. Number 4, so not everybody knows, but the baby is going to be wearing diapers, and so will you. So what you choose to wear is completely up to you. A lot of times your hospital is going to provide you with pads that look like pillows. Let me just prepare you for that if you've never seen them before. But these huge pads, and also they provide you with mesh undies. Now, each hospital is different. I know my hospital gave me some to take home, but I'm not really with sitting on a pillow all day. Like, I'm not with that. So I bought these disposable underwear. The ones I got were from Always. They're the Always discreet disposable underwear, but what I like about them is they're thin. They literally just look like a pair of briefs, and they're extremely absorbent. I believe that they're made for like leaky bladders, like if you have like some type of incontinence, but they actually work very well for the catching of the blood. So I would say to consider those if you are not about that big pad life. And then, oh, and also I know I said they were very absorbent. They offer a lot of coverage, so I didn't experience any leaks. So yeah, I think those are a good option if you're looking for something like that. Okay, so the 5th item that I would recommend you bring into the hospital is a food grade nipple cream. I purchased one off of Amazon because I did hear that in the beginning when you're breastfeeding, sometimes your breast can be sore or cracked, and it just kind of depends on you and how often the baby feeds. I know for me, my baby fed like round the clock that first couple of days, which they told me was normal with them coming out of the womb, but I mean, it was my first baby and I just was not used to that. So I did need to use that nipple cream when I was at the hospital. And I say food grade because you want to make sure that you have something that is safe to go into the baby's mouth if you have to feed them soon after you apply it. So yes, consider that. Number 6, I would also recommend bringing some nipple lactation pads. You can get these either disposable or reusable. I kind of think of them like maxi pads for your boobs. They basically just catch any leaking milk so you can protect your shirts and make sure that you feel clean and dry. One thing I will say is that when you first have the baby, the milk that comes out is called colostrum. It's just like a thick substance. It's enough to feed them for like the first couple of days. For most women, their mature milk doesn't come in until about like 2 to 5 days later. So for me, my actual milk didn't come in until after I left the hospital. So I probably could have went without these, but I did bring them just in case, because again, if you're going to be in the hospital longer, then it's possible that your milk could come in, during that hospital stay, and you would want to just have something to protect your shirts. And also, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I got disposable ones just because that worked for me. I couldn't see myself buying reusable ones because I'm just not good about stuff like that. So the disposable ones work for me. All right. So the last tip and item that I have is basically to bring your own hygiene products. So whether that be like your body wash, your shampoo, lip balm, face wash, all that stuff, bring your own items. The hospital a lot of times will provide you with a certain amount of things to get you going. But let's be honest, it's not going to be the same type of stuff that you would buy for yourself. And just staying in the hospital for a couple of days is not comfortable. It's nothing like being at home. And if you bring your own hygiene items, it'll at least make you feel somewhat normal until you're able to get back into your own space. So I didn't wash my hair at the hospital, but I did bring my own body wash, face wash, moisturizer. I didn't mention it before, but in bringing your own stuff, you also might want to bring a pillow too. Not a white pillow, because that could get mistaken for their pillows, but maybe just something like a different color so it's not, so it doesn't look like the hospital gear. But yeah, I would just bring as much of your own stuff as possible so you can, just make your stay as comfortable as possible. So that's all I have for today. I know that there are a lot of items out there. And again, like I said, I did a lot of research and I bought a lot of stuff, some things that I just didn't need. But if you've had a C-section, and you brought different things than I mentioned, feel free to put that below in the in the comment section for anybody that wants to take a look so we can all just kind of get some ideas from each other. If you are scheduled to have a C-section, good luck to you. Whether you're having a C-section or a vaginal birth, good luck to you. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please, again, click the subscribe button below. Be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I'll see you in the next video.